Welcome to Money Through Ease. I'm your host, Reagan Bashara, founder of All Ease Accounting. Join me each week as I share my journey as a business owner and bookkeeper. And sometimes I'll even have a guest on to share their values with you. Together, we'll empower you to achieve financial independence, develop procedures aligned with your values, and create a life on your own terms. Let's dive into the world of financial empowerment. This is Reagan Bashara on Money Through Ease. Let's get started. I don't even do like a introduction right now, so we're just gonna what is it called on
Bring it.
SNL? Cold open.
Oh,
That's what we're doing right now.
yay.
Hi, welcome to Money Through Ease. This is your host, Reagan. I have my friend Amy Wilson on today as our guest. Hi, Amy. Welcome.
Hello, hello, hello.
Awesome. She is the nutrition coach pharmacist. You can find her at amykwilson.com and on Instagram at the nutrition coach pharmacist. Sorry about that. So she's going to talk to y'all today because I am a small business owner and entrepreneur, and I know that if I let my urges get in the way, that I would probably just work 24/7 until I burn myself out and then slept for 3 days. And that is not the way for anybody to live their lives. But as entrepreneurs and small business owners, we're the ones setting our schedule, and we sometimes forget that oh yeah, we have to rest and eat and sleep and hydrate and stuff. So Amy's going to share a little bit about health for entrepreneurs and living a good lifestyle in support of you running your business.
Absolutely. I think I'll just put my 2 cents in because as the nutrition coach pharmacist, I know that's a lot of words. So not only am I a nutrition coach, I'm a pharmacist and I'm a fitness professional.
Mhm.
So yes, I know what it's like to burn the candle at both ends, and I know what it's like to try to take care of everybody else and not me. And
Mhm.
so yeah, let's talk about that today, and let's
Yeah.
talk about how as entrepreneurs that sometimes we put everybody first, and especially women entrepreneurs, because
Hmm.
not only do we put the family first, we put our customers first, we put our
Yeah.
clients first, and then we're like, "Oh, I'm burned out. I'm
Yeah.
done. Put a
Because
fork
we're
in me."
such we're so service oriented, people
Yes.
our gender, we're just taught to always be in service to other people, always be helpful, be willing to give up all your time and energy for free to your children and your husband and your family and your clients, blah blah blah. And it's oh my gosh, can I be in service to myself first? Is
Yeah.
that possible? It in fact is possible, but you have to consciously make the decision.
Oh, absolutely, and then let's put in there with social media and the metrics and trying to get followers, and, I've and I'm probably putting my age here. Calgon, take me away. It's that commercial, Calgon, take me away, and we feel that way because of I always tell my clients we gotta find balance,
Mm,
and it actually starts with us first. Any of my entrepreneurs, I have lots of entrepreneur clients because we forget to take care of our health. I mean, I actually have
mm,
other it's funny, I have other nutrition coaches
mhm.
who come to me because I say the same thing. I have a coach. Coaches
Yeah.
need coaches
Mhm.
because we're good at calling everybody else out on their
Yeah.
and what they need to do, and we say, "Yo, you need to take care of you first, and you do this in your business," and then but when it comes
Yeah.
to us personally, we're like, "Oh, yeah, that's for everybody else, not us."
Yeah. Are you the person that's I need the therapist's therapist? I need that next level up because I know the basic. I'm good with that. Okay, I got it. But here's what I'm actually struggling with. It is at a much deeper level, and I need somebody to really sit me down and be listen.
Yeah, and honestly, yes, I think most of us are like that
Mm,
because I would say most of us are probably OCD type A, um, wanting to do everything
mm,
perfectly, and we have all these, key performance indexes, so the key KPIs, we have
mhm,
all these goals, we have all these check boxes. And once again, then those check boxes usually come back to us personally.
mm.
It's our business or it's what's going on with the kids. And we forget that we can't burn the candle at both ends.
Yeah.
And let's talk midlife, let's talk 30s, midlife, and older. we have hormones and we need to
Mm.
take care of those hormones. And what we do is we grab for the quick stuff.
Mhm.
We grab for, oh, the drive-through, or
Mm.
even worse, and this is the biggest thing with my clients is that we just don't eat. And then
Yeah.
we can't figure out, like, we can't figure out what's going on, and I'll get, "But I'm gaining weight. I don't understand, but I'm not eating." And I'm like, "That is the
Exactly.
reason." I mean, you nailed it right there, but
Yeah.
they're like, "But I'm not eating." I'm like, "Yes, but we're told that if we
Mhm.
don't eat and we move more, that's the answer."
Yeah.
But it's
Because everything's
not.
just so simple. The human body is not at all complex.
No. No, not
Yeah.
at all. It's just, and calories in versus calories out is the worst thing that we ever said, because it just
Yeah.
does not work that way.
Right.
And so when we think of that, oh, it's okay that I'm running the candle at burning the candle at both ends. It's okay that I'm doing everything. It's okay that I'm doing this and I'm not eating, I'm skipping meals because it's causing me not to eat and therefore I'm not consuming calories.
Mhm.
Well, hello, ladies. My name's Amy K. Wilson. I used to do that too, and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And in fact, it actually backfires.
Mhm.
So a lot of my clients come to me overweight, or it's not really overweight, I call it overinflamed because it's chronic inflammation.
Mm.
And eating is hard. Being a busy professional and figuring out when to eat is not an easy task.
Yeah.
What I tell my clients is that, take your worst case scenario client, the one that you've helped the most, the one that you talk them off the ledge, I don't know how
Mm.
many times, or we all have that client. We can think about it
Yeah.
right now. It's
You
like,
can picture him
but
immediately.
you picture them, right? And you had this aha moment where you had this breakthrough and it was just making it work with them because
Mhm.
you can't go against your own nature. You can't. But when you start making it work with you and not against you and
Mhm.
start planning, hello, entrepreneurs, what do we have to do the most of is plan. We also have to plan how we move our body, and it only
Mhm.
takes 30 minutes a day. You don't have to spend hours in the gym. In fact, I don't go to the gym except for once a week now and teach. If you see that door behind me, there is a little hallway that goes to another room, and that's where I work out.
Yeah.
Time saver.
Mhm.
Time saver. So as entrepreneurs, we also have to think of things that's going to save us time, but still going to give us the results.
Mhm.
And that's a huge one. If you can work out at home, and then when you can plan your meals, necessarily have to prep, but if you have a plan in place, you have the groceries at home, you have easy meals, then that makes everything more doable. And
Mhm.
then we spend more time wasted. What do you want for dinner tonight? I don't know. What do you want? I
Yeah.
don't know. What sounds good? I have no idea. Do
The
we want to do this?
conversation
I don't,
every
right? The
day. Well,
conversation.
do you wanna
When,
order DoorDash? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I do.
And right?
Yeah.
Right? And honestly, the amount of time that you had that conversation, figured out where you wanna order from DoorDash, DoorDash finally gets to your house,
Mhm.
you inhale the food because 'cause you're starving now, you could have easily made something very
Mhm.
quickly at home,
Yeah.
and
I
it's
love to
better
cook.
for you. Yeah, it's better
Yeah.
for you, and here's the caveat of that. Guess what you have? More energy.
Mhm.
Hello, we need that as entrepreneurs. We need as much energy as possible. So, and you can think clearer because you are
Mhm.
not ingesting all this processed, quick crap food. And hello, hormones. It helps your hormones. And
Mm.
the other thing it does is I am a nutrition coach who does not like to talk about weight loss. And you're
Mhm.
probably like, okay, why the hell is she on this program? I'm like, that's all I
I
want.
mean, I wouldn't have you
No,
here if you were like, "You need to lose weight." You wouldn't be here, so
no.
just
No,
FYI.
because, weight loss, we have got to get out of this conversation about weight loss because every time you lose weight, you're losing muscle.
Mm.
It's your scale's not telling you if you're losing body fat or muscle. What we need to focus on is decreasing chronic inflammation. What we need to
Mm.
focus on is increasing the amount of muscle you have. And when you start eating right, well, then you start not only preserving your muscle, you build muscle, and then your body's like, oh, she's actually feeding me for a change.
Mm.
Wow, I don't have to use muscle for fuel anymore. I can start using some fat for fuel. And then we start losing chronic inflammation. Then we start losing inches. And I don't think anybody realizes that's really what they want. They
Mm,
want to feel good in their clothes. That has nothing to do with the scale.
yeah.
Absolutely nothing to do with the scale. Feeling good about your posture, how you look, your muscle tone has everything to do with chronic inflammation and losing it, and it has to do with building muscle. The shape that you want in your body comes from muscle. And as entrepreneurs, we don't even think about that. All we're thinking about is our clients. And so we forget about taking care of us first.
Mhm.
And that's what you have to do. It's like the same thing with your kids. You have to put your oxygen mask on first before you help
Mhm.
anybody else. It's all those things that people say. It's the same thing when it comes to your business because you cannot run on empty and run a business. You will burn out.
Yeah.
And I'm a one woman show. I'm sure a lot of people on this podcast are a one
Yeah.
woman show. They're like,
Yeah.
but, and I get it. I understand. It's like I'm my social media person. I do my own reels. It's
Yep.
like doing all this. But I also make sure that my 30-minute workout gets done.
Mhm.
My meals are planned because I know I'm not effective if I don't feel good.
Yeah.
And if I'm burned out, everything just seems so much more difficult.
Mhm. Yeah, I've recently well, I don't do like New Year's resolutions and stuff, but I made the intention to move my body more this year. My word of the year for 2024 is to stretch or just stretch,
Ooh,
like
I like that.
mentally, physically, I want to reestablish a movement routine because I stopped last year. I used to teach Zumba. I used to be a Zumba instructor, and when I stopped doing that, I just stopped movement pretty much altogether and have become more and more sedentary. And I'm just like, it doesn't feel good. Like my body just doesn't feel good when I'm like that. And so I have started this wellness kind of program where she does do the 30-minute workouts. And it also involves stretching and foam rolling. And I've
Awesome.
been sick the past couple of weeks. And so I've like bare minimum done the foam rolling, had coughing fits every single time. And then I'm just like, I'm doing what I can to just move my body at this point and
Yeah.
just stretch. But like I also know that like I have to lean in and recognize whenever my energy, like if I'm just starting on empty too, like it's okay to do the bare minimum. Or if I do or end up ordering out and ordering DoorDash, like I still try to make a better choice for
Mhm.
what I decide on because like at the end of the day, like I just need to be fed.
Yep.
And like sitting down and like putting my meal onto a plate instead of eating it out of the box and like sitting in the chair and like, making sure I get all of my bottles of water in for the day. Like those things are all little tiny bites that I can take to support myself throughout the day. And for a while recently, I've noticed that I've just been like eating just to consume calories because I'm like, well, I just know I have to. And it wasn't like a diet culture thing. It was just like, oh crap, I need to go eat something. And I want to shift that back to like, I want to prepare a meal for myself that's delicious, that I sit down and like enjoy and savor. And so yeah, you have to make the decision ahead of time, like meal planning, meal prepping. I love doing that. But there are some weekends that I'm like, there's no way
Mhm.
I'm getting in the kitchen. So I'm throwing chicken in the instant pot and pressing go. Like that's the extent of
That's
it. So
And that's awesome. And so, as entrepreneurs, we have to think about, okay, so you don't have time to do certain things. What are things that you are willing to,
Mhm.
when say spend money on, or things that you are willing for convenience that
Yeah.
will help you?
Yeah.
So it may be someone like me investing in a coach that's going to help you. It may be something like I'm trying out a thing called, and any of these products I am not affiliated with it. Just
Yeah.
FYI, I'm just
Yeah.
putting these out. I'm trying something called Just Meats.
Mm.
It is already pre-cooked meats
Mhm.
because that's usually our biggest problems that we don't have protein or we're so sick and tired of the same chicken breasts that like, because there's times today's a good example. I have been running since 5 a.m. I went
Mm.
ahead and got my workout in because I knew it was gonna be a rough day,
Yeah.
but it's been running, 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 running.
Mhm.
And if I didn't have those meals already done, that meat already done, it'd be like you said, it's DoorDash. And around here, there really isn't that many good choices. Now,
Uh-huh.
there are some good choices. Core Life is one of my favorites. If you have a
Mm.
Core Life around there, that's a good one.
Mm.
But there's um in here in Louisville, there's a place called Prepping for Peppers.
Mm.
She she's a chef and she does what's called macro prep, which is
Yeah.
protein, fat, and carbohydrates. there are a lot of people getting into that where you can have those meals already done for you. And
Yeah.
sometimes that is cheaper because if you're someone who goes to the grocery store, this is what I love in January 1st. Let's throw everything out. Everything gone. And I'm not a resolution person either. And then you look in the cupboard and you're looking, it's like, oh, I don't even know how to make a chicken breast. I don't want to make any of these.
Yeah.
Or you go to the grocery store and everything goes to waste because life happens and you don't have
Mhm.
time, and when you have someone else who makes things for you, yeah, there's an initial cost factor, but if you think about the waste
Yeah.
that you are not throwing away and your time, put a price on your time.
Mhm.
Sometimes that's the best way to do it. It's somebody already pre-made everything for you. It's a healthy alternative,
Mhm.
and it works. So, and don't I think people sometimes feel like they have to be superwoman. It's like,
Yeah.
I have to make dinner. I have to do this. I have to do this. Well, let's see how we can make it easier for you. If you can do
Mhm.
it at home, perfect.
Yeah.
If convenience is a huge issue, then let's make it the best choice of convenience.
Yeah.
And without guilt. I am not a resolution person either. I am, let's see what we can do to make ourselves improved.
Mhm.
Not a resolution because it's hard. We are creatures of habit.
Yeah.
Big time. I mean, you probably see that with entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
We're creatures of habit. It's very hard to change some things.
Mhm.
And one of my I just did kind of a thing on my YouTube. It's like the best thing that I can recommend this year is someone read Atomic Habits by James Clear, if you
Mm.
have not, because it's all about the 1%. It's all about getting better every day. It's starting with the bare minimum. So let's say you want to walk every day, and
Yeah.
it might just be putting your tennis shoes on every single day, getting in that habit of putting your tennis shoes on. And then it might be going outside and walking for 2 minutes,
Yeah. To the end of your driveway and back.
the end of your driveway and back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then maybe the next time you want to do it 2 times. But it's just getting into the habit of starting and then making it 1% better every day.
Mhm.
And sometimes, especially entrepreneurs, we have that go-getter that we think we have to do everything in anything, that we just have to put the brakes on and be like, okay, no, I just need to show up. In might be small, but I just need to do it, just show up for me and get that built into my day. And
Mhm.
then before you know it, it's there. And then you can move on, and it's called habit stacking, add something else.
Yeah.
But don't try to do everything. That's what January 1st is like. Okay, I got rid of the pantry. I got rid of the stuff in the refrigerator. I'm joined a gym. I'm going to be there at 4:30 in the morning. Yeah, that lasts 2 weeks.
Ooh,
No,
no.
you're
Mm-mm.
not a morning person. I can tell you right now. You're never going to be a morning person. That is DNA. That is in your DNA.
Yeah.
So why fight your DNA? Let's use your DNA, the way that you normally do things, and make it
Mhm.
work for you.
Yeah, and I like that you brought up, what it habit stacking. I call it like task chaining or chaining tasks. Like if I know that I'm already going to be doing something every single morning, like preparing my cup of coffee, that is when I sit down and record my TikTok videos every morning. Cause I'm just like, now
Oh,
I've just chained that task to something that I was already doing. And like, if I'm going to be scrolling anyways, or just sitting there, like I can be doing something productive and like sharing my thoughts or just creating some short form content that does not have to be perfect. It's just a matter of checking off the task, just getting it done and getting it out there. So I like that you brought that up. And then, like, with finding your natural cycles, like you've talked about hormones a couple of times, like I don't think a lot of people realize that like being awake is because of your hormones, going to sleep
mhm,
is because of your hormones. Like your body
mhm.
builds up hormones during the day that put you to sleep at night. Like
Yep.
your awareness, your consciousness is based on your hormones. So like if you're not getting up at 4:30 naturally, it's probably not going to be sustainable to try to force yourself into that habit. But when do you naturally have energy during the day? Do you like to go take a walk at lunch? Like that's, perfect time to like pause and reflect and get outside and do some movement. Like, what are you already doing? Can we work with that schedule? Can we work with your body's natural rhythms to support you better?
And that's perfect because, and I'm sure as a Zumba instructor, you got it too, is like, what time's the best time to work out? Well, my answer is whatever the best time for you is to work out.
Mhm.
Because, yeah, are there studies about early morning, mid-afternoon, evening? Sure there are, but it's what can you stick with? And then it's also what's the best kind of exercise? Well, I'm a big proponent of let's go ahead and quit doing all the cardio that we're doing. Let's do some cardio, but let's also make sure that we are doing some weightlifting and weight
Mhm.
training. It has to be enjoyable. So I'll have clients going, "Can I still do my Zumba class? Can I still do my rip class?" I'm like, "Absolutely, but we're also gonna make sure that you're getting your weight training in." And I
Mhm.
don't want you to do Orange Theory every single day because that does hurt our hormones. And yes, I used to teach Zumba every single day. Don't do Zumba every day. I love Zumba. I love shaking it. It's so
It's
much fun.
rough on the knees,
It's rough on
man.
the knees. It's rough
Ooh,
on the
buddy.
back.
I did
All
try
us
to
all us
implement
old all of us old
yeah.
instructors feel it now.
Yeah, I
So
did try to
it's
implement like
yeah,
body weight resistance training in some of the
yeah,
songs, like making sure to do squats, or I had like arm songs that everybody would end up like crying during because they're like, my arms hurt so bad. You can't even lift your arms up at the end. But like I see the value of weight training for sure because like as we're getting older and aging, stability of like our spine and our bone structure is like based on muscle tone and like having strength for everyday tasks. Like you don't want to be the person that can't get up off on and off the toilet like whenever you're older, without like assistance. As long as possible, I would like for that to be the case. So
yeah.
like doing these things consistently now is going to help me have a better quality of life for longer, which is like my reason for doing that. It's not even about how I look or how my clothes fit. Like I can find clothes that are going to be comfortable any size that I am, but for me, it truly is about like, what is my quality of life like now? How can I extend that quality for as long as possible? That takes consistency, that takes commitment to a movement practice and routine.
Well, I like to say I'm a pharmacist who prefers that you're not on medication. And so as entrepreneurs, if we're not taking care of ourselves, if we are not eating the best, we're not moving our body. Okay, so now we're looking at preventable diseases. We're
Mhm.
looking at possibly getting hypertension, high blood pressure, prediabetes, diabetes, high cholesterol, things that cause inflammation.
Mm,
You might notice that you have headaches. You might notice you have joint pain. You might notice that you're not sleeping well. And we're really good at rationalizing it's because I'm working too hard. It's because the kids, it's because the husbands, because my other job, or this is going on, instead of looking at in-house and saying, okay, what can I do to help? Can I eat a little better?
mhm.
Can I stretch? Can I do daily gratitude? What can I do to bring my cortisol levels down? Because stress, 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 go, 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 that kind of fight or flight all the time
Yeah.
is really bumping up those cortisol levels. Well, cortisol is a great hormone in little
Yeah.
amounts. We have
Like when
lots
you
of
need it,
amounts
when you're being
when you
chased
need
by a
it,
lion.
right? Exactly. Yeah, or, I like that, chased by lion, chased by bear. But if you're not sleeping at night, your cortisol levels are too high. You can't
Mhm.
go to bed at night, your cortisol levels are too high. You're seeing a lot of inflammation, more likely it's your cortisol levels too high. As we get older, muffin top around, and we can't get rid of this midsection, a lot of that's cortisol. So things that we can do to decrease, and once again, it comes back to finding balance with ourselves first, finding balance with our job, with our entrepreneurship or side hustle or whatever it
Mm,
is, and realizing that it's okay. You do not have to be on 24/7. You will not lose a client
yeah.
if you are not on Instagram 24/7. If somebody really wants to work with you,
Mhm.
they're gonna make sure that they're gonna work with you. If they say, "Oh, well, someone else responded first, um, because you didn't get back to me quick enough," then they're
Okay.
not your people. Because if they're really connecting with you on a personal level, they're gonna want to talk to you. They're gonna
Yeah.
want to pick your brain. They're gonna want to have that relationship with you.
Yeah.
And don't get in the comparison journey because I know that's very, very hard for all of us because it's a follower thing, right? But the
Mhm.
one thing I am seeing, especially with social media and Instagram right now, and oh, please let this keep going. It seems like the people who are doing have smaller amounts of followers, who are actually doing real content, not so much influencer content, are getting more views, are
Mhm.
getting more engagement. Stick to you. Stick to what you believe and what you know, and just be Elsa, let it go. Just let it go because it's not serving you. Just
Yeah.
as junk food's not serving you, just as going to the gym for 3 hours or thinking that you have to do that and beating yourself up because
Mm.
you don't have the time, that's not serving you. So let it go. Do whatever Marie Kondo you have to do. If it's not bringing you joy, it's gone.
Yeet.
And and come down to the basics. Take care of you. Let's get you energy. Let's get you focused in taking care of you. And then you'll be amazed at how that kind of just does a nice little positive snowball effect into your business.
Totally agree. You brought up like not beating yourself up. I think that is just like the most important part because like when we are in a place where we're like feeling guilty about what we're not doing or how we're doing things wrong and we're like beating up on ourselves about that, like how is anybody going to make a good decision from that place? From that
Mm.
place of like, well, I just can't do anything right. I don't do this, this, and this, or blah, blah, blah. Like coming from the place of shitting on yourself, shaming yourself is not going to motivate you towards making good changes, but maybe turning it around and asking yourself, what's like one small thing that I could do today? Make sure I get enough water, like just make sure that I have my ounces that I need to have for today. Asking yourself little questions like that can create that positive movement forward instead of just being like, well, I might as well not do anything because I can't do anything right and I'm doing all these things wrong.
And don't beat yourself up with metrics. And
Hmm.
and and that's not only metrics on social media, that's your metrics. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't get 30 minutes in, so what I
Yeah.
might as well not. Oh, I only got in 8 ounces of water. So what I always love that. Well, you don't go slash, all your tires. You don't do that. If you have one flat tire, you don't go
Right.
slash the rest of them.
Yeah.
So be mindful of getting into that dark place because it's very hard to sometimes dig ourselves out of that dark place and be okay with, hey, I showed up today. I finished a thing of water. It
Hmm.
wasn't three, it was a thing. And I got my I got my workout in, or I was able to really do a quick 10-minute walk
Yeah.
and celebrate those successes just as you would celebrate the milestone of your business, whether it's your first
Mhm.
client or for a success story. Celebrate those because those are just as important.
Mhm.
And then once again, that parlays, and don't beat yourself up with the comparison game of, well, you know what? She seems to have it all. She's running her business and she's this, and her kids seem
Mm.
to be perfect. Remember what you see on social media is the
Yeah.
highlight reel. You don't see what's going on behind closed doors. You don't see if that person has a team. You don't see if that person is doing the one woman show like a lot of us are doing.
Mm.
And be proud of the things that you're doing, but also come back and say, okay, I have to take care of me
Mhm.
because then what's the purpose? What's
Yeah.
the purpose? If you are running ragged, if you are hurting your health, if you're doing this side hustle or whatever to make extra money and it's for retirement or something else,
Mhm.
and you can't enjoy it, or it's causing you more grief and stress, that it's making you ill, migraines, exhausted, okay, we need to have a conversation
Yeah.
because your health is the most important thing first.
Mm.
And if
Totally.
if you're putting that as the last, no, your health and taking care of you important first, side hustle, entrepreneurship second.
Mhm.
And you'll be so much better when you start doing that.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't try to compare myself to anybody on social media. Social media is a tool that I use to like reach the people that need to like work
Mhm.
with me. Like, I know they're out there. So it's my job to show up and be like, hey, I do this thing. Can I help? I know you need help. Like, I know. And so I do need to pay attention to the metrics in that, like, I need to be able to reach the people that I want to reach. So like there is a little game that you have to play with like I know how the algorithm works. So I need to do the
Yeah,
things that are going to like
right,
tell the
right.
algorithm put me in front of the people I need to be in front of, but it's not to be like any sort of measure of my value or my worth as a person that like I have so many followers. I'm just trying to gain more followers so that I can help more people and like
That is a beautiful place to be. So you're not worried about the vanity metrics.
mm,
You're seeing, and my thing is always impact over income.
mm,
I want to see if I can help one person today, if I can help one person get healthy, if I can help one person start decreasing their medication or prevent medication, that's what it's all about. And you're the same way. It's like if I can speak to the person that needs help,
Yeah.
I can get to that person, that's what it's all about.
Mhm.
And that's a beautiful place to be.
Yeah, because when I started this business, I was literally hiding. I was so scared that anybody was gonna like perceive me and like think of me as, oh, like just a salesman or whatever that, all that crap. And I had to get over that pretty quickly because I was like, well, I'm not gonna get fucking clients by hiding. Like, I need to tell people what the hell I'm doing and how I can help them because they're out there looking for help. Like, people are
Yeah.
scrolling because we all scroll, but like in the back of everybody's mind, if you ask them like what's the one thing that if you were given this today like would be the most helpful thing for your business or your personal life, everybody would have an answer immediately. So like there's people out there that need my help. So if I'm hiding, like I'm doing a disservice to them actually. I need to show up and be like, here's the thing, I can help you with this. Like here's how we're going to do it. Do you want to work with me? And I've completely 180 because when I started, I was just like, maybe somebody will refer somebody to me sometime. And I'm like, no, I got to get up there now. This is how I am now. Like, I've just come that far to be like,
Hard.
all
It's
right.
hard to put yourself out there. It's hard to have criticism, and it's hard to have people who are your friends going, "Well, why do you do this all the time?" And I always say to my clients who are very successful, and they're like, "I just don't want to put myself out there." And I'm like, one, be proud of the
Hmm.
fact that you've lost inches, that you are healthy. And two, if there are people who aren't in your corner cheering you on,
Hmm.
why are you with those people?
Yeah.
They're showing their true colors. Though
Yeah.
you want to be with a tribe that's lifting you up, not bringing you down. And same with entrepreneurship. There's a lot of females who will, unfortunately, are not into raising everybody up. Okay, that's fine. Peace out. Been real. See you later.
Yeah.
You're not my people. You're not going to be you're not going to somebody I want to work with. There are plenty of people who need to hear financial tips. There are plenty of people who need to hear about being an entrepreneur. And was having this conversation with one of my friends. She's like, I only made this much money and spent this much. I'm like,
Hmm.
so okay, what do we need to do?
What's the
I
problem?
mean,
Like,
there's a problem. It's
yeah.
like, but she's like, I just don't want to think about it. I just don't want to think about it. Yeah, I know. I can see your eyes going. Yeah, but it's the same way with health. We don't
Yeah.
wanna think about it until we go to the doctor's office. With your money, you don't
Mm.
think about it until the creditors are coming or
Hmm.
you've maxed out your credit cards trying to build this business
Yeah.
instead of taking those necessary steps that you need to do. And what we need to do is, once again, focus on some of the basics that's going to help you, because I can imagine if you don't know your business, how much money is coming out, how stressful that is. And
Hmm.
then let's put that with your health
Yeah.
and okay, it's a double whammy. So if
Yeah.
you get your financial in order, and it's always interesting with financial and health. I honestly think they go hand in hand.
Hmm.
They really do, because when you can get your finances in order and you have them kind of like in a plan, you can parlay that over to your health. It's the same way.
Hmm.
You can have a plan and they really are synergistic. You want good finances and good health so that
Yeah.
when you get into your retirement that you're able to enjoy both.
Yeah, I also think like they're very intrinsically tied because like of our financial systems and our like healthcare systems and all of that just being like such a privileged, like if you don't have privilege, you're probably going to be unhealthy for a couple of different reasons that are actually
Mm,
kind of shitty. And so
yeah.
like we need to address that like systemic issue as well in it, including like on an individual level, like having a plan for myself, trying to stick with it, not beating myself up whenever I maybe slip up or, with finances, like you can have a budget, but like if you overspend a little bit, like what do you put yourself in timeout or something? Like cut up your card, like so that you can't know. Like we just try and do better the next time. And it's the same thing with health or any sort of movement routine or diet, but I just mean like the way that you consume food.
Yeah.
Like, messing up or whatever, it's just like, well, we don't have to wait till next Monday. We don't have to wait till next January 1st for you to like try again. the next meal, the next time you go to eat food is when you're going to try again to like do
Yeah.
better and do what you need to do to take care of your body. So I do see those as the same thing on an individual level, but also like the systems too. Like if you are poor, if you are in any sort of class of people that has been marginalized, like they've shown that like it is directly linked to like health outcomes too, which is
Yep.
fucking
It's
scary.
and it's horrible. Absolutely horrible that we have that when we can change it. That's the thing
Mhm.
is, it is very, very fixable and it can be changed.
Yeah.
And yeah, that just kills me. And I think what sometimes that we have to think on sometimes we have to look at priorities. And
Mm.
I know that may sound like, oh, she's going to lecture. No, it's not really lecturing.
That's all
Um,
podcasting is. It's just
yeah.
like lecturing.
But, people talk about goals, and I'm like, "Okay, you can talk all about goals you want. I want to get into a different size. I want to do this." But if your priorities don't align with your goals, and that's with health and
Mm,
finance.
mhm,
So if it's like, "Hey, I want to go on a vacation, but not put it on a credit card," is a priority. Or maybe that's a goal that's a goal. But if your priority is not in line with, "Hey, I'm not going to Starbucks every day to spend 7, $8, or I'm not gonna spend the latest the money on the latest fad," then if your priority is that I'm gonna go spend money on Starbucks every day because that's a priority, and I would need to have the latest fad because that's a dopamine hit and I need that,
mm,
then your goal of paying your vacation with no credit cards is not gonna happen.
mm,
It's the same way is if I want to lose inches, I wanna get healthier, I wanna lose chronic inflammation, and that's my goal, but my priority is I go through Starbucks every day and get
Yeah.
a venti latte, and I'm gonna go ahead and not make my own food, I'm gonna go through the drive-through every day at lunch, and your priorities need to line up with your goal.
Mhm,
And if they don't, then that's a definite conversation that you need to have with a coach to help you say,
mm.
"Okay, these are my goals. How can I align my priorities with them so that I can get there?"
Yeah. I think you're using the word priority. What it's making me think of is how I use the word value. Like if I have a
Yeah.
value of like taking care of myself or like self-care in the way that like I care for my body as like a mammal, an animal body that needs to like be hydrated and fed and rest and all that stuff. Um like if my value is self-care in that way, then engaging in these activities that are just like spur of the moment activities or not making good choices about what I eat or not drinking enough water, not getting enough rest, overworking myself, like that's not in alignment with that value of self-care. So like priority value, I think we are talking about the same thing, but I
Yeah.
agree. If you set a goal for your business and it's not in line with your actual values, like there's going to be some sort of resistance that you feel that's going to keep you from getting to that goal. Because if your values are this, but the goal is not in alignment with that, like there's going to be something that holds you back. Spoiler alert, it's yourself. Because you're acting out of alignment. You're acting,
Ding, 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 we
yeah,
have a winner.
exactly. Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about like how you got started in business? I always ask folks this, like share with us your business story and maybe give some advice for people who are business owners themselves beyond like the nutrition and movement routines and stuff. Like what is your tip for business owners?
I got started so I did nutrition coaching before and got burned out because I did too, but it's probably story of a lot of entrepreneurs. You get burned out, you're like, "Oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
let me get back."
Got the
Took
t-shirt, been there, done that.
done that. 2019, I was not feeling good. I
Mm,
was gaining inches. I was teaching like crazy, teaching fitness classes.
mm,
I'm a full-time pharmacist and was not feeling good. I was fluffy, headaches, joint pain, and I thought it was just perimenopause. I'm
mm.
like, this is this is perimenopause, and frustrated because I'm like, do I have to just put my hands up and say, this is it.
Yeah.
This is the way it's going to be. This
Playing the
just
cards you're dealt, like, okay.
right. Yeah, this is it. And I'm like, but no, I don't feel good. I know I don't like
Mm.
this. I watched a couple other instructor friends, Zumba instructors, by the way, do a program called Faster Way to Fat Loss. And it was amazing. They lost inches, but they looked good. I don't know if you ever see someone who diets and loses weight very quickly. They don't look
Mm,
good. They look tired. Their skin's gray. Their hair is very stringy. They looked strong. And
mm,
not only that, they felt so good. But I watched them to fail because that's what happens. You see somebody on Instagram, you see somebody on Facebook, and your friend's like, oh my gosh, it looks amazing.
mm.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
6 months later, they're back to where they were before.
Mhm.
And it's like, and I'm like, no, it has to be something that's sustainable. It has to be something that works because I've coached other programs and I always was frustrated at the fact after 6 weeks, you just go back to the way you were. It didn't change
Mhm.
anything.
Mm.
And so took a Hail Mary pass and I signed up for it, not expecting anything. I had to take care of me. I jumped all in. I was like, you know what? I got to change my beliefs. If what was working, I wouldn't be here. So
Mm.
suck it up, Amy. Suck it up. Do the work. And hey, if it works, great. If it doesn't, oh well. I was not expecting it to work.
Mm.
It was mind blowing because it was science. It was working out less, which almost killed me because I thought, oh my God, I can't do that. Was lifting weights, it was eating real food, and all of a sudden the aches and pains were gone. The migraines, that's been huge. The migraines were gone because those migraines
Mm.
were debilitating.
Yeah.
And inflammation, I could put my wedding ring back on. And it
Mm.
was it was just all these things. And not only that, after the 6 weeks, I kept getting better and better and better. I'm like, all right, this I'm being called. This is where I need to be because not only am I going through this, other people are going through this who need
Mm.
help. I documented my journey on Facebook. I
Mm.
had a lot of people reach out. I'm like, all right, it's time for me to get back in the ring. This is my calling. And I went through their certification and started my own business. It's kind of like I would say I'm a Fast Way to Fat Loss coach. It's kind of like a franchise almost.
Okay.
And was like, you know what? This is it. I wasn't doing it for a certain amount of money. I wasn't doing it because I wanted to be an entrepreneur again. It was it God no. It was a calling. And when I told my husband I was getting back into nutrition coaching, he was like, it's about time. I'm like, what is about time? He's like, that is what you do. People come to you and ask. And I'm like, well, why didn't you say something in the first place? And he's like, well, he was like, you have to come to it at your own time, whatever. But
That's me. That's right here. It's your girl.
right,
I gotta figure it out for myself,
right.
unfortunately.
Yeah, and so that's it. So in October 2020, I opened the nutrition coach pharmacist,
Mhm.
and it wasn't with the intention of helping people lose weight. I
Mm.
wanted a different angle, and the angle is getting healthy. The angle is taking you back. The angle is to keep you out of my nursing homes because that's what I do. I'm a long-term care consultant,
Mm.
nursing homes. You don't want to live there. And so if I can help others like me, entrepreneurs, fitness instructors, people going through perimenopause, menopause, those who have prediabetes or existing conditions who want to get healthy and live their best life so that you can look at yourself in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, that person who's looking back going, you know what? You took care of me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be 20, 30 years going, man, if only, I wish. That's the worst to have if
Yeah.
onlys and I wish. If we can take that window of opportunity now and do something, doesn't have to be a lot, doesn't have to
Yeah.
be a lot, and do that 1% better every day, learn those good habits so that what we're doing as entrepreneurs, what we're doing to provide for our family or maybe our future, that we can enjoy it and not feel so exhausted.
Mm.
So that's how I got into it. And yeah, has it been ups and downs? Absolutely. Because sometimes I get into those KPIs. Sometimes I get into that social media or how many people have visited my website, how many people, all that kind of stuff. It's nature. It's nature
Yeah.
that you want to look at that
I've got
stuff.
something to measure. Great. Let me focus on
Great.
that.
Yeah, let's do it. Um, but then it always comes around and be like, "You know what? Okay, I need to show up every day for me, for my business, and for the people who want to hear me."
Mhm.
And those are the people I will resonate with because followers don't equal clients. We all have to remember that.
Yeah.
Views don't equal clients, and hits on your website don't equal clients. It's when you
Mhm.
have that connection with
Mhm.
somebody, that's where the client comes in.
Yeah.
And it's remembering also that I still need to take care of me because
Mhm.
that's where I got into it in the first place is that I wasn't taking care of me. And
Yeah.
so I have made that a focal point that I have little check boxes. Did I get this done today? Did I get this
Yeah.
done today? For me, and then my business is next.
We love a
Okay.
task list.
Yeah, Erin Condren all the way. Then it's, then it's like, okay, did you get the reel done? Did you make your post? Did you do
Mhm.
this? And that kind of
Mhm.
thing. But my workout and my meals and everything else is pre-planned beforehand, and then everything else can flow. And it's freeing. It it makes it where I can find balance because I got to the spectrum that even with this business, last year I was burning the candle at both ends and
Yeah.
realized that it wasn't serving anybody. It wasn't serving me. It wasn't serving my clients. It wasn't
Mhm.
serving my future clients.
Mhm.
And so finding that balance really has been the key.
Awesome. I think, like, looking into the future almost and asking your future self, like, what is she gonna think of me? Or what are they gonna think of me of, like, what decision I'm trying to make now? I actually got coached on this, yesterday about debt, like credit card debt, which is, like, what I'm always getting coached on. And she was asking me like, "Well, I mean, if you wanna have this feeling, and then what kind of decision would you make from that feeling?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, I guess I could do this because probably future me is gonna look back and be like, you know what? I appreciate you making your credit card payments and not being late on those." But then I was like, also, future me isn't gonna like shit on me or regret anything that if I do or don't. Like, if I know that in the future I'm not gonna beat up on myself now in this moment, like, I'll be okay no matter what I decide. And from there, I'm like, well, then I'll make the decision that I want to make right now because I know I'm not gonna shit on myself, and future me is gonna look back and be like, you know what? That was a good choice. Like, I appreciate you doing that for me. So coming from that angle to anytime you're coming up to a decision where you're like, I just don't know what to do. Thinking about like, well, if I'm not going to like get in trouble or if I'm not going to have anybody tell me I told you so, then what would I choose? If I were 10 years down the line looking back on this moment being like, oh, I'm really glad I made this choice, what would that choice be? I think
Yeah.
that's a useful frame to put on any decision.
And I think sometimes, I mean, I hate to say this, but I will say this. Sometimes the most difficult decisions in my life have been the best.
Mm,
The ones that scared the crap out of me, the ones that were kind of, "Do I really want do I wanna take this angle?" And
yeah.
those why I always say, well, are kinda like life-changing decisions. The life-changing
Hmm.
the Hail Mary pass to do the program,
Mm,
to become a coach, um, job switches, that
mm,
kind of thing have always been good decisions looking back. They scared the crap out of me, and I'm like, "Do I really wanna do this?" Because it's hard to get out of your comfort zone, it really is.
yeah.
And when you do that and you jump, and then you look back going, "Yeah, I did that." Even if it wasn't the best,
Yeah.
but you did it. And sometimes you're looking back going, "Okay, I wasn't the best, but I learned from it."
And
And
I
so
didn't die.
and I didn't die.
I'm still here.
Yeah, yeah. And I
Yeah.
learned a lot, and it's serving me now because
Yeah.
now I can use that experience here on down the road.
Mhm. Totally. Thanks so much for being on. Would you mind telling us how we can work with you if we're interested in doing that and what services you've got going on and how we can find you on all the social medias?
Sure. So the best social media is Instagram, and it's the nutrition coach pharmacist. So the nutrition coach pharmacist. I do have a 5-day fat loss blueprint that will give you lots of recipes that you can double and triple. And then it also
Mm,
has two of my favorite recipes. One is chili that tastes just like Wendy's chili, but you can make it in
mm.
Instant Pot and it's
We
easy.
love an instant pot
Love Instant
in
Pot.
this house for
So,
sure.
if you message me and just message money,
Okay.
money, because that's what we were yeah. podcast.
So we're
If you
talking about.
message me money, I will send you a 5-day blueprint. And if you are interested in seeing my blogs or anything else, you can go to my website, which is amykwilson.com. So the nutrition coach pharmacist. And then if you go to my website, you can get all the other ones, amykwilson.com.
Perfect. Thanks so much for being on and sharing your expertise with us today. Everybody go out there and do some movement and eat something, like sit down and put it on a plate that isn't
Plate.
paper or styrofoam and eat it.
That's awesome. Yes.
Thanks, Amy. All right, y'all. We'll tune back in next week for another episode. Bye. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Money Through Ease. If you found value in today's discussion, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave a rating and review. Your feedback really does mean a lot to me. And if you're ready to take the first step towards organized finances, be sure to download my free receipt organization guide, Chaos to Calm. Visit the link in the show notes to grab your free copy now. Remember, your financial journey starts with small steps. I'm here to support you every step of the way. Until next time, this is Reagan Bashara from Money Through Ease. Stay empowered.